Hey everyone, welcome back to FSi DFS. Or I should be saying welcome back to myself here. I've been out for the past couple of weeks, as you know. Couple of different respiratory viruses. I'm going to try to get through this. I might have a coughing fit. I got my water. I'm ready to go. So let's kind of blaze right through this and see what's going on. We are looking at the 6-game slate for December 4th as we kind of move on through the season here. Looking over at the matchups. Nothing too standy out here other than Vegas being a big money line favorite at minus 220. Everybody else, every other game, pretty much a toss-up. Over-unders are also very similar. In terms of the projected goalkeepers, again, these are just projected at this point in time. So Vasilevsky and Ranta, both of them kind of broke the chart, essentially. They have save percentages that are so low, so bad, that everything else just kind of was the exact same color, and you couldn't separate anything. So Ranta, he allowed 8 goals. He allowed 8 goals in his previous start, which is why it plummeted drastically. And it was only on 14 shots, so it was really ugly. Vasilevsky, he allowed 6 goals in his last start in just 2 periods of play. And it was actually going to be against the same opponent. So maybe they give Vasilevsky a second shot to see if he can figure it out. Or maybe they say, you know what? Maybe you just don't have it against Dallas. We're just not going to send you back out to the Wolves. We're gonna get Johansson in there. So, but either way, both of them really struggling so far on the season. Guys like Grubauer and Kemper are struggling as well. And then Ingram and Hill, they've been the great goaltenders to start the year thus far. So looking towards some line stacks here, I went with the top line for Vegas. Seemed kind of obvious here. Now, Vegas, actually, the previous 2 weeks that I haven't been doing these videos, they've been awful at 5-on-5 play. Essentially, all of their goals were either on the power play or some shorthanded. They went through like this massive drought where they couldn't score 5-on-5, and it was only like here and there. But so they shuffled up their lines a little bit. What they did is they took Marshall Show off that top line, and they put Stone in his position on the right wing there, and it's worked very well. They've been able to generate at 5v5 now, and it's worked great for Eichel too. He's got 6 points in just those 2 games. He had 3 points in each of them since that change. They all, Pietrangelo's here. He's a defender. I do want to point that out. There you go, if you are looking for him. He is a defender. The other top line guy for this Vegas line with Stone and with Eichel is Barbashev. Doesn't really provide much of a floor at all, and he doesn't skate on the same power play unit as either of these guys. So I do like Pietrangelo here, especially just with like the long-term injuries that are on that Vegas defense. Pietrangelo just sees massive amounts of ice time, top power play unit time. He pretty much does everything. So that's going to be where I'm going to be heading with Vegas. Another team that I'm going to be having a lot of interest in, which I think might go a little bit more under the radar still, is going to be Arizona. Now, Arizona, Washington, it's an even money line game, over under of 6. I actually really like Arizona in this spot. Like, even if I was going to be making a bet, I'd be going on Arizona if you do want to go that route. But Keller, Cooley, and Schmaltz, this is the top line for the Coyotes. Keller, he's going to give you the best floor. He's going to give you the best best upside as well. 6.6K. And Arizona has just been fantastic offensively on home ice. They're averaging almost 4 goals per game, and they're winning a lot of their games as well. Washington, if you look at the standings, they're doing great so far this season. They're near the top of the standings in their division, even in the Eastern Conference. But when you look at like the analytics and everything, you realize that they've been extremely lucky. They've been bailed out a lot, and they're going to regress here throughout the course of the season. They are pretty much a bottom half team in every single category, so the fact that they're that high in the standings is pretty wild. So like I said, Keller, he's going to be the biggest upside, biggest floor kind of guy. Cooley, he's just a really fun player to watch. If you want to look at a highlight of Cooley, just type in like Cooley preseason NHL goal, and you'll see it. He puts a guy, he himself goes in a blender and he's spinning all around, and it's awesome. And then Schmaltz, he's got goals in 3 of his past 4 games, so he's been lighting the lamp a little bit. He just really doesn't provide you with much of a floor, but still, I like the correlation in all even strength and power play units for this team. One other note is that Arizona's actually had a really good power play. You can see it down here. Some notable special teams. Arizona, they've been 6th on the power play so far this season. Washington's middle of the road. Seattle, Carolina, kind of middle of the road, a little bit better than average in terms of the power play, facing off against below or near the bottom penalty kill teams in Winnipeg and Montreal. Those are not the only matchups, obviously, but those are really the only notable ones that were like really, big differences that were in favor of the power play. So like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia both have like really bad power plays so far this season, and they're both having very good penalty kills this season. So paying attention to like the power play units, I'm not going to be paying too much about that in this game. And everybody else, it's here like a really good power play against a really bad penalty kill or whatnot. So going over to the individual plays, we're going to start off with Sidney Crosby at center here. Crosby is a guy you could be pairing with Gensel if you do want to go that route. Again, it's not really so much for the power play correlation. I mean, it does help, obviously. Maybe they can get there. But Crosby, he is just the Flyers' kryptonite. Like, Crosby's career stats against the Flyers are essentially better than any other team in the entire league. He just destroys them. I think he averages 1.5 points per game against Philly over the course of his career. So at 7.8K, I think he's fine, and he's been shooting the puck a lot more so far this season as well. In years past, it was only, he would definitely generate offense, but he'd be more, passing the puck, getting, like 2 to 3 shots on net. He's actually shooting the puck a little bit more, so we do like that. Sebastian Aho, 6.8K. I don't have any of his line mates on this list, but you could go with guys like Jarvis. He does skate with Bunting on the top line as well, but I also guys like Teuvo Teravainen, who does skate on the second line for Carolina, but Teravainen and Aho, while on different even strength lines, do skate on the same power play unit. But also Andrei Svechnikov, he didn't make the list here, but I do have some interest in him as well. Scheifele, 6.5K. You compare him with a guy like Kyle Connor, Nikolai Ehlers. That's going to be your top line for Winnipeg. I also got Josh Morrissey here at 6.3K on defense. All those guys are going to be skating on the top power play unit. Not Ehlers. Ehlers going to be on the second. But Carolina, if it is Ranta, like Carolina in the past has always been the team where you really didn't want to play against them in DFS because they just limited so many shots against, where it just kind of blew everything up. Like, it was pointless to play against them. This year, not so much. They're allowing a lot more shots on net, and their goaltending has just not been what it has been in previous years as well. So if it is Ranta in there, who has struggled over the course of the season, I could have a lot more interest in Winnipeg. Carlson, he's just been great for Vegas all season long. And then Beniers, I think Beniers is still just criminally underrated in terms of hockey skill and knowledge and all that kind of stuff. For DFS, 4.6K, I do think that, that is a pretty appropriate price for him. But I just wish that, there would be more national coverage and media around this guy because he's just so talented. And you'll see I have a lot of Seattle guys here: McCann, Tolvainen, and Bjorkstrand, all three Seattle wingers. So Beniers, he's going to be skating on the top line with McCann, but McCann does not skate on the top power play unit with Beniers. Tolvainen does. Tolvainen skates on the top power play unit with Beniers, but then McCann and Bjorkstrand skate on the same power play unit but different even strength lines. Follow that? No? Okay. I mean, Seattle is a not-so-friendly DFS team. We've talked about these not-so-DFS-friendly teams throughout these videos this season. Seattle, I've mentioned it before, is one of those teams. One, because there's a lot of depth scoring, like lines 1, 2, and 3. You're going to be pretty even in terms of your scoring. Obviously, line 1's going to be scoring a little bit more than the other lines, but it's still pretty even all around. And then their power play correlation and even strength correlation is just in a blender. So it gets really tough to really get those like trifecta goals that you are striving for. But Bjorkstrand, he shoots the puck like crazy. Great shot floor on him. Tolvainen and McCann, those are also great shot floors as well and very reasonable pricing. So I don't think salary is going to be too much of an issue. And with salary not being too much of an issue, I feel like we could talk about Kucherov here at 9.5. That's pretty insane. So what I like to do, and especially in terms of like cash games, is can they get 2.5 times their salary? So for example, if a guy was 10,000, we'll say McDavid is 10,000. For cash, I want him to can he get me 25 DK points? If they're 5,000, can they get me 12.5 DK points? Because you get 50,000 in salary to spend. If you go 2.5 that, you get 125 points. If you get 125 points in NHL cash games, you're going to be cashing like every single night. So Kucherov at 9.5K, can he get us in the low 20s? Yes, absolutely. The guy's averaging a shot bonus every single home game, almost every single game it seems at this rate. So there's 10.5 points right there. So all he needs is a goal or maybe an assist or two, and he'll be right at that 20 point mark. So yeah, he can certainly get there. He's got a little bit of a tougher matchup going up against Dallas. Dallas is probably going to be rolling out Ottinger, who is one of the who is who is one of the better goaltenders in the league. Just not been himself as much so far this year, but still one of the better goaltenders in the league. But yeah, shot floor, he can certainly get there. And then Owen Tippett, just nice shot floor. Going over to the defense, Morrissey, talking about pair him with Scheifele. Letang, you compare him with Crosby and Guentzel. Sergachev, Kucherov, Dunn. Dunn is actually like very under the radar, been one of the better point-producing defensemen in the entire league. Skates on the top power play unit, so he's going to be skating on the top line with Beniers. Not even strength line. He's a defender, obviously. But he's going to be skating on that top power play unit with Beniers and Tolvainen and other guys. So I actually really do like Dunn. He shoots the puck. He blocks shots as well. He's kind of like that, gets the peripheral stats, which is what you always want. And then Pettersson and Whitecloud, just two very cheap guys who can block shots, get 1 to 2 shots on net to go along with maybe a block shot bonus, who are just going to see like 23 to 24 minutes of ice time, and the opportunity is certainly going to be there when they are out. So that's kind of where the slate's breaking down. Vegas is leading the charge. I really think that Arizona is going to beat Washington here. Washington's going to fall off at some point, and I think Arizona is just a better team than Washington. So this even money line, I think, is a little silly. And then, yeah, Seattle's going to be a nice nice value team and a popular value team. I just got to wrap it up here. I'm losing it. So with that, good luck. Thanks for watching. Good luck in your contest, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully I won't be hawking up along. I probably will. I've had this call for like 3 weeks at this point. So good luck. See you in your contests, and I'll see you tomorrow.